So here's all the accessories. I got them all out. Definitely gonna replace this because I think the clutch, when I was trying to refill the AC, the clutch is supposed to spin and it wasn't spinning. So I'm definitely gonna replace this. What's good, Grind Schoolers? It's your boy Rob, and we back in the shop today. So today we are finally going to start work on the Impala. I got my coveralls on, so you know it's serious. But the thing about it is I can't take the motor out officially just yet because I don't have the engine hoist and I don't have an engine stand. I'm not trying to take the motor out until I get the engine stand because I don't want the motor just sitting on the ground or nothing like that. I don't want this to be a long drawn out process. Everything came in for the rebuild for the Impala. So I'll flip the camera around. I'll show you guys that in a minute. The only thing that I don't have, like I said, is the engine stand. So once the engine stand gets here, Dash said that he'll bring the engine hoist to me. We'll go ahead and take the motor out, put it on the engine stand, and right from that point on, we're gonna tear it down. We're gonna clean everything, make everything look nice, rebuild everything back, and then, you know what I'm saying, go from there. So like I said, today, I'm just gonna disconnect everything that's connected to the motor. We're gonna try to disconnect it. I don't know if I'll get under the car to disconnect the torque converter in the transmission, but I definitely wanna get to the point where I drain all the fluids, the radiator fluid, and then also the oil, whatever's left up in there, and probably the power steering if I can get that. But we'll see how it goes. I might even get to the point where I try to loosen up the motor mounts. I'm not going to take the motor mounts out or the bolts out of the motor mounts. Just get them loose, just get the accessibility there so that when I do actually do everything, then, you know what I'm saying, like we can just unbolt everything, take the bolts out, take the motor out, and then we're good to go. So let's see. I think there's enough angle on that hood to get it out. We'll see what happens. But anyways, man, before we jump to the video, go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and yeah, let's get to it. All right, y'all. So everything that I need is right here. So pretty much what we're doing is we're just replacing everything inside the motor. I'm not adding no power. I'm not doing cam. I'm not doing heads. None of that. The reason why is because I just want to keep this motor reliable, redo everything, make sure everything is all good. And this will not be the motor that we're going to run with. I just want to make sure that we can get the car running and driving and everything else. I have all of this stuff that I always got to do with these cars. There's so much work that still needs to be done on the G bodies. And right now I can't afford to do a LS swap or try to, you know what I'm saying, hold out for the LS swap on this car. So that's why I'm opting to take the motor out, rebuild it, put it back in, and then it'll be a good motor for whoever gets it next if I decide to sell it. And who knows, I might keep it in there and just rock it like that, you know what I mean? Because realistically, I wanted a lot of power in this car, but now I'm kind of on a trajectory of just putting a lot of power into my Elko. The Monte Carlo will have plenty of power, and then when something else comes to the garage, that will get power. So I don't know how I feel about this. I just kind of want this to be my daily, you know what I'm saying, get in and roll. But anyways, what we have is we have the piston rings. That's what's in this box. We got the timing chain. I decided to get a new timing chain just for like a preventative measure because this car got 187,000+ miles on it. The timing chain probably has some slack in the chain, and it would suck to go through all of this work, put the old timing chain back on there, and then find out that the timing chain is bad down the road. We got new main cap bearings, which is what those are. And then we got this whole gasket kit. This gasket kit comes with everything. You can see the list of everything that it comes with, you know what I'm saying, right there. It even has fuel rail O-rings. I didn't know that it came with that. Everything. So everything that, every single gasket inside of this motor is in that box. I also went ahead and got a oil pump. Oil pump comes with the push rod and all that, the pickup tube, all that. So I don't know if it's the oil pump. I'm assuming it's the rings. I'm assuming it's the rings that's bad because when I did the compression test, you know what I'm saying, compression was really low on the cylinders, and you know, it could be one of two things, either the oil pump or the cylinders, and my guess is that it's going to be the cylinders. But nonetheless, we are going to take everything out, and replace everything. And then when I get down to the nitty gritty, once I get everything out and I clean everything up, I'm gonna replace these hoses. I think these hoses were kind of new when I got them, got the car, but for, you know what I'm saying, like just the simplicity of everything, I'm gonna make sure that everything else is new. Or I'm gonna take the hoses, get all that new. I'm gonna get a new radiator, and just everything that I can replace, I'm gonna replace, so that I don't have any problems down the road. Like I said, I plan to drive this every single day, so that's pretty much where I'm at with it. I want it to be reliable. I want to be able to get in, do what I need to do whenever, and just go, you know what I mean? So anyways, what we're gonna start with is we're going to start with the home plate intake. We're gonna take all that stuff off, disconnect the battery, obviously. And then I think the next course of action is we might have to drain the radiator, because I'm gonna start taking these radiator hoses off, so I can get to the water pump, because I think I gotta get to the water pump before I start taking everything else off. Actually, you know what? I don't think so. I know some of these brackets are intertwined with one another, so I don't know which ones are on top of the water pump or under the water pump. I just know that they are. I'm gonna take all the accessories off. I'm gonna try to get the exhaust, all the exhaust stuff off of the motor. So the exhaust manifold, I'm gonna try to get all of those bolts off. Take all the spark plug wires out of there. Also unhook all of the vacuum tubes, like all of these vacuum tubes here that go into the water pump, you know what I'm saying, for the heater hose or the heater cord and all that got to come out. Unhook the any plugs. So the wiper motor should be good, actually, because that's not tied to the motor. That just goes up in there. But any of the wiring harness like this, you know what I'm saying, this can come out. And I'm gonna be as gentle as possible with everything. You know, I'm not trying to break nothing. So I'm gonna just really take my time. I'm gonna go glove up, take my time with everything, and you know, start pulling stuff apart, pulling all this stuff off the motor. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this area up first, and then I'm going to set up a table. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move the Monte Carlo over closer to the Elco, so I have more space in here, and then we're just gonna get to work, man. So let me go ahead and set everything up, and then, like I said, we'll get to work. All right, y'all. So we had to move the money over to give all of this space right here. And it's crazy because I really think that I could fit another car in here without, for real, like, you know, let me see. Like, there's still like a whole, like, 1.5 feet, almost 2 feet in between these cars. There's like 2 feet in between the wall there. Like, if I put them on rollers and I just push them, the ones that's not working, I could literally fit another car in here. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, that's besides the point, sidetracked. The reason why I put this over here is because when I pull the motor out, obviously the Impala won't be able to move, so I'm gonna have to pull the motor in through there. And so when I pull the motor out, we'll put it on the engine stand right there in the driveway. We'll roll it around and we'll put it in here. And so I think what I'm gonna do is, instead of pulling the putting everything back, I'm gonna put a table right here. So I'm gonna go grab the table, and then we'll put a snowblower up closer and out the way, and then we'll put the table over there so that when I do pull the motor in here, I could just take everything off the table, put it on the table, and then, you know, build it like that. So let me go ahead and clean up the rest of this, get all this stuff out the way, so that we can start getting to the rest of this situation here. All right, y'all. So I got the intake off of there. I'm about to take the belt off of here, and then I'm going to probably lift up the car a little bit so I can get the oil pan from up under there. Drain all the oil that I can out of there, and then I don't know where I'm gonna put it at, but I guess I'll find something. Oh, I found something. So I'm gonna drain all the oil out of here, and then I'm gonna drain all of the coolant out of here, because I gotta disconnect these hoses before I get to the water pump and all this good stuff here. And then be real gentle with all of these connectors and everything that's going in this area here. So anywho, let me go ahead and get this belt off of here. This is super hard to do with one hand, just so y'all know, but we gonna try. Boom. So I loosen up the tensioner. Boom. Easy peasy. Go ahead, take the belt off now. All right. Go ahead, slide it down through there. Bang. Just like that, y'all. This belt is new too, by the way. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, everything on the outside of the motor has been pretty much repaired or replaced. Some of the smaller parts like this, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna just put off to the side. I'm trying to really reserve the table for, you know, those bigger parts. More specifically the valve train, because I'm gonna have to take the push rods and the lifters out, and they're gonna have to go in the order that they came out of the motor. Also too, when I need to leave at least half of the table for like the crankshaft, the pistons, and all that kind of stuff, so I can do everything I gotta do. But I'm going to probably speed ahead, and I'm gonna basically take off all of the accessories. I'm gonna unhook all of the wiring harnesses and all this kind of stuff. I'm gonna disconnect the cables, the throttle cables and stuff. I gotta be real careful with those so I don't break this, because if so, then I'm gonna be replacing the throttle cable. I don't want to do that. Let me see. This one here, I gotta see how that one's connected, because I don't see the it's connected like here somehow. I don't really know how, but yeah, we'll have to play around with that, figure that out. And then after I do all of that, we should be good to go. I think I'll probably start disconnecting all these wire harnesses first. I kind of trying to, you know, take note of where everything is also, so that I don't have any like missteps or anything like that anywhere. But yeah, man, so when I do put this back together, I kind of know where everything goes. And yeah, man, I mean, ain't nothing more that I can say. You just got to keep on chugging along until all of this stuff is done. And then, like I said, I'm gonna kind of try to speed along a little bit faster, because I don't want to sit here and talk all day. I want to get this done, because it is such a nice day, and I got to capitalize on these nice days when it's cold. So let me go ahead and speed along. I'll just put y'all on the time lapse, and that's how we gonna rock. All right, y'all. So quick update. I got all the wiring harness disconnected. We just got to kind of push it back. I got all the injector wires or whatever disconnected. All of that's disconnected. I got the throttle cable and the kick down cable disconnected. So all I got to do is disconnect the fuel lines in the back. Um, I gotta, I think this pump might be bad because I was trying to put some AC in it, and you know what? I'm gonna replace that. I'm gonna replace that for sure. Uh, Anyways, I gotta get the air compressor out, the AC compressor out. I got the what's that? Power steering pump out of there. It was super easy to do. I don't know why I never was able to do it in the first place, but we don't have a problem with the power steering pump. If I ever do, then I'll just replace it too. And then we'll get this bracket off. I think I'm gonna have to take this pulley off because I'm gonna have to turn the motor over to get the torque converter bolts out. But I think once I take this AC compressor out and this bracket out, I think that's gonna be my stopping point for today. And then I'll have to get the exhaust manifold stuff off of there. I gotta get the oil sender thing off of there. This ground wire, and I think that's pretty much it, y'all. Just make sure everything is away from the motor. Oh yeah, I gotta get up under here to get the motor mounts too. So I gotta see how difficult that's gonna be. I see one of them. This one might be a little bit more challenging, but we'll see how it goes. I'll lift the car up and then do everything I gotta do underneath the car. I don't think there's anything else that I need to do. I think all the wires are disconnected for the most part. I did find some areas that we're gonna have to improve upon as far as vacuum leaks. I thought that I got all of them, but there was a few things that I took off that look kind of shabby. So we'll have to investigate that stuff. But for the most part, man, everything looks pretty good. I think we're pretty much good to go, man. I'm hoping that I don't have too much of a hard time with these exhaust bolts. We'll see. But other than that, man, let me get this AC compressor out so that I can get this bracket, this whole bracket out, and then all the accessories will be off of the motor. And then after that, man, we should be good to go to hook this motor up and take it up out of here. I'm gonna have to attach a bolt to either side and get it up out of here. I'm gonna see how I'm gonna do that. But anyways, we're getting closer and closer. And then all this stuff that is dirty and disgusting, we're gonna clean up. We're gonna replace what we can replace and, you know, get done with what we could get done with. So let me get this out, and then I think that might end my day today. Cause like I said, everything else is disconnected. Now I gotta just go up under the car and get all that stuff out. All right, y'all. So here's all the accessories. I got them all out. Definitely gonna replace this because I think the clutch, when I was trying to refill the AC, the clutch is supposed to spin and it wasn't spinning. So I'm definitely gonna replace this. I just want it to be new anyway. This one was all gunked up and whatever. I figured out why I had a power steering leak or why my power steering was super low. Because the power steering hose was really loose. So I went ahead and, or I'm gonna keep this. It wasn't too bad to get it out. You know what I'm saying? It's 3 bolts and then, you know, a rubber hose and then the thing in the back. Super easy to get it out. So I won't replace this. This is brand new. Smog pump doesn't need to be replaced. All it is a little canister thing. That's brand new. The tensioner is good. It holds the belt really well. The MSD box is new. I'm gonna replace this ignition coil. So all of that stuff. So I'm gonna replace this, the ignition coil, everything else I'm gonna keep. Just so that, you know, I don't have any issues, because I've had issues with another car that I had with the ignition coil before, and it sucks. You know what I'm saying? Because you kind of don't know what's wrong with the car. You think it's the starter, you think it's the battery, you think it's the alternator, and then come to find out it's that little piece there. I got pretty much everything taken apart. I didn't know that this bracket was attached to those trans cooler lines, so I think I'm gonna leave those there. I've already replaced some of the cooler lines. I think these ones, yeah, these ones I've already replaced, so I'm gonna leave those there for now. I might replace those. Everything else looks pretty good up under here. It just needs to be degreased and sprayed up and stuff like that. I forgot that the AC compressor was gonna be under pressure with AC stuff. So I hope I don't get sick. I know R12 was toxic. I don't know if R34 is. You're not supposed to inhale that stuff. So hopefully there's no issues. I got the fuel lines right here disconnected. I got this exhaust manifold disconnected. I got to disconnect that one. There's also a connector in there for the, what is it? I don't remember what sensor it is. I had to put it in there for the Dakota Digital, but it might be the cam sensor or the crank sensor or something like that in there for the Dakota Digital. And then the oil sensor I got to get off. I still got to get that that ground wire down or off of there. And I think the rest of everything up here is done and good to go. So when we pull the motor out, we're going to tear it down. We're going to clean it up. And we are going to replace every single gasket in this motor. And we should be good to go. I got the EGR stuff off of there. So I got to just drop it down. I guess, I don't know if EGR, smog, whatever that's connected to this exhaust manifold. I'm thinking about doing headers, but then I'm kind of like, maybe not, because the motor, like I said, I'm not going to run with this one. I'm just going to rebuild it for now. And I'm not trying to spend a whole lot of money into this one because I want another one. I might have to pull the spark plugs out in order to get the motor out so it doesn't hang up on the exhaust manifolds. So I might end up doing that. But other than that, man, I would say it was a super solid day. Got all the wiring harness out the way. Got everything unplugged. And yeah, I mean, I took the pictures that I thought would be useful when I put this thing back together so that I don't miss anything putting it back together. I'm trying to take mental note of like all the hoses and things that need to be replaced. And yeah, we don't have too much more to go. After we pull this motor out, we should be like really, 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 really good. But yeah, so anyways, we're gonna keep chugging along. And all the rest of this stuff I'll leave on the motor until I, get it out, and then we'll take it all off, set it off to the side, and then we'll put everything on the motor before I put it in the car, just so that I can have everything, solid in unison where it needs to go. I guess I can't even do that because this bracket here is gonna have to come off of those hoses in order for me to put like the power steering, the alternator, and so I guess I'm gonna have to put it back in the car first. But no big deal, man. Like I said, we're just trying to get this thing to be as clean and reliable as possible. So like I said, a solid day. This is day one. I don't know when I'm gonna get out here again to work on it. I don't know if that'll be tomorrow or not. But the next day that I get out here, I'm gonna finish everything else up. I'm gonna get that exhaust manifold out. I'm gonna get the torque converter out, the transmission out, and then this thing will be ready to pull. So I don't know if that'll be during the week, depending on weather. We'll see how it goes, or next weekend. So we'll just have to play it by ear. But for now, I think that this was a solid day's work. Got tons of things that got accomplished, I guess, today. And yeah, I mean, I can't complain. So anyways, we're making progress. We're making progress. All right, grind schoolers, that's gonna be it for this video, man. I hope y'all enjoyed. like I said, we're gonna just keep chugging along, chugging along, chugging along. I'm gonna do my best to make as much space as possible in this garage. I can kind of turn the snowblower sideways. I could turn the table sideways, and I'll have so much more room to like put the motor in the front here. And you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm not trying to take a whole lot of time with this. My next goal is to get up under the car, get everything that needs to be under the car taken care of, knocked out. I gotta clean it up under there before I jump up under there, but for the most part, we should be good to go. And then there's a couple of other things that probably take, 20-30 minutes to disconnect, and then the motor's ready to come up out of there. And once we get the motor up out of there, like I said, it's instant teardown. I'll put it up against the engine stand. We'll, tear everything down, clean it up, take everything out, re-bearing it, re-gasket it, redo everything, put it back together, and then we're going to work on getting everything back together. Like I said, I'm trying to have a pretty quick turnaround on this, weather permitting, and just, every day that I have available, just out here working on it, trying to get it done. Because if I can get that done, I can be in my Impala as soon as possible. Right before the spring, we'll be in the Impala. And yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm geeked. I did a lot of work today, so it didn't really even take me that long. Probably about 2-3 hours to really just dig in and take my time and get everything disconnected and figured out. But other than that, man, I think we're pretty much good to go. This is day 1 of the engine teardown, so stay tuned. We are going to, like I said, do another day. Hopefully the next time I throw this camera on, we're pulling the motor out. So like I said, stay tuned. We should be super close. I got everything I need, I think, hopefully. And if not, then we'll just have to order something else. And yeah, but anyways, man, go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Always remember, work hard so you can live free.